Hello, everybody. Welcome to live session. Today is Tuesday, January 16th. I'll start with Bitcoin. I'm going to mark some of the gaps because I started a new chart. So I just want to make sure I show you guys how these gaps are marked. So this is Bitcoin futures, BTC futures. I will start with the BTC and then do an overall analysis. So let's quickly see. So this gap here on Bitcoin on this day, Sunday, 14th of Jan, a couple of days ago, we gapped down. We came and filled this gap. Same thing on Ethereum. Actually, Ethereum had no gap. There was a slight gap here on Monday, but it's filled. So again, going back to Bitcoin. So let's go back. This is 1 hour chart. Let's try to mark all the gaps we have to the downside. So these gaps 90% of the times filled. So there's a gap around 13,405. So let's keep going. There's this gap here. Let's mark it like this. All right. So let's keep going. There's another 1 hour gap here. So this is here. All right. This gap was filled. And let's keep going. There's a bigger gap here. This gap here. Right here in 26,295. All right. And if I zoom out, you can see the biggest of the biggest gap is here, which is very, very scary. It's around here. All right. 2105. All right. So that's how you know 1 hour chart candles, and that's how you can analyze gaps. And these gaps 90% of the time do get filled. All right. So now going back to where we are now and going back to daily chart. So Bitcoin, you can see what's going on here. All right. So there's a gap here. We just marked 39,405, 340, 155, 29,740, and 26,295. If I even zoom out, 2155. All right. You can see even on the daily chart it shows. So all these gaps will be filled. I don't want to scare you guys. I just want to tell you the reality, right? So from here to the bottom gap, 53% Bitcoin can go down. Second gap 26,000, which is around 39%, then 30%, 20%, and then the latest gap is around 8% left. Okay, so this gap will definitely looks like they want to fill it very fast, 39,405. And one thing to see, you can see there's divergence. This acts like an RSI. You can see prices going higher. RSI's price is making higher high. RSI is making lower high. So it's a divergence. So we are getting a dump, and that's what it was. We were expecting that. Even on 1 hour chart, if I go, you can see here. You can see this new high. This was a divergent high. You can even see that its indicator is showing. Okay, divergent high. So now we're getting a dump. So we want to see a reversal of condition. All right. So what that means, you see how you're saying lower high. We want to see opposite to be more confident, like what happened here. You can see price was going lower. It was making lower highs, and then RSI was making higher high. You can see this is a divergence. You can see price is making low, 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 low. This low is lower than this low. This low is lower than this low. But RSI, you can see it had made a new low, but RSI was higher low. And you can even see here. So this low this was the bottom, and then it kept going lower, but momentum, this is momentum indicator, momentum kept going higher. All right. So that's an anticipation of a reversal. So that's what we want to see. We want to see price going lower with higher momentum on RSI. All right. So until I see that, you got to be very careful. And I think eventually it's going to go down. And to be honest, if you see a support, if you want to really see a major support, even just looking at the chart, anybody can do that. All right. So you can see this whole line here, this area here, this looks like a major support now, right? You can see there was resistance, resistance, resistance. We broke out. We never came back to test it. All right. So just keep that in mind. Do not listen to people who are saying it's going to go to 100K or whatnot, right? Just be careful here, guys, because all these gaps, 90% of the times they will be filled. All right. I just want to make everybody aware, and I provide my honest opinion. I have nothing to sell here. I just want to save you guys. Okay, so I just show you what's showing in the fact in the chart. All right, so Ethereum, let's do the same thing on Ethereum. Let's go see whether you can see gap up. We fill this gap. So let's keep going. let's see. Okay, here, this is a bigger gap, right? So we're gonna mark this here. This is around 8, 2125. Actually, this gap looks like it might have filled. So if I zoom out, you can see this is filled. Just one day it filled. So see how important is this to do a gap analysis? So okay, let's keep going. So this gap here, this is also filled. Okay, so this gap here, how about this one? So let's mark it and then we can do at the end analyze quickly if it's filled or not. So there's an 1850 gap. Then there's this gap here on Ethereum. You can see this one around 1613. All right, and let's keep going. Let's keep. Okay, so this one, I don't see there's a gap here. Let's keep going. Let's keep going back. This is 1 hour chart. Okay, you can see this massive, massive, massive gap here. This day here. You can mark it here like this. Oops. I'm gonna delete this and move it like this here. All right. And if I zoom out, okay, this gap here. All right. And then I guess this is the last gap here. Hope it's the last button, but you never know. All right. So you can move it a bit higher here. All right. So at 1086. All right. So let's go back to daily chart on Ethereum. So so none of these gaps are interfering with each other. Probably this one might be interfering. So it looks like this gap is filled. So I can delete this. But yeah, all these other gaps might have to take a look into this. This does look like a gap. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna leave it there. All right. Okay, so same thing on Ethereum. All right, so if I zoom out on Ethereum, I think it's quite possible Ethereum where it is right now, it can dump all the way around 50%, which is in line with Bitcoin. So 1194 is the last gap fill. All right. Other one is 1419, 45% down. And then third one is 1617, 37% down. And final one is 28% down around 1850. All right. And same thing here. So Ethereum also, if I zoom in, you can see price making a higher high. This is making a lower high, and same thing if you what I did on Bitcoin. Support is around here, 2,000 bucks, and then if it comes all the way down, it might as well come down to fill this gap around 1850. All right, and I want to do same thing. I want to see same thing. I want to see divergences. You can see same thing here. Price was making lower high, I mean lower low or equal highs, and then you can see RSI was making higher high. So something like that I want to see before I get bullish on crypto again. All right. So just be careful here. All right. So that's done. So now I'm going to go with traditional market VIX. VIX, you can see what was happening. VIX is now up 4% today, gap up. But you can see VIX was making lower high with higher momentum on same concept on RSI. Now what we can do is we can go make 1 hour chart on VIX, and we know this gap is it's gapped up. So it will come down, I don't know when, but it will come down to fill this gap. So we're gonna mark these gaps like light green, all right? And that's it. So let's go back to daily. Um, Now I don't know if when VIX was here, when it went higher, I think here. I'm not sure if it went down with leaving any gap. So let's quickly do that analysis. So you can see there's a gap left here on VIX. Gap here, I'll mark it with yellow. What about this gap? All right, so mark this with yellow. So what is this telling me? This is telling me that it's possible VIX could get a pump up to 16 and 21. All right, this is what it's telling me. This is the purpose of making a gap analysis here. So VIX is now gap down. There are multiple gaps up. Okay, So it is quite possible in January we'll get now till the end of the year, we get major dump and that will help VIX to pump because VIX every time it comes here, if I go to weekly chart, so by the way, who those who don't know what VIX is, VIX is volatility on S&P 500. So if VIX goes higher, S&P 500 goes down. If S&P 500 goes down, VIX go higher. So you can see this is weekly chart. VIX is around a big support area, around 13 bucks. So I think this is even on weekly, you can see making lower lows. RSI is going higher high. So we gotta be careful here, even on VIX. So VIX is telling me a bounce is coming. Now, are we gonna go down, fill this gap first around 12 and then go high, or are we gonna go high, high, and then come down? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, but I think it's quite possible we can go and fill this gap at 16. So be very careful here. All right. So that's what I was trying to tell you. Okay, S&P 500. If we go to 1 hour chart, let me show you here. Oops, 1 hour. So you can see here S&P 500 also new high with divergence on RSI, and this gap, slight gap, you might not be able to see fully, but there's a gap around 468, and there's a gap here around 455, gap here around 440, then 434 and 430, and then 423. Okay, so even if I go to daily chart, you can see here what you see on RSI. So SPY is making higher high. Okay, this high is higher than this high, but RSI is making lower high. So a massive divergence here. So you got to be very, very, very careful. Okay, and a dump can come. Okay, so first gap is here 468. If where we closed, first gap is 468, 1.32%. That can happen any day. And then second gap is here around 4%. Okay, and then massive gap is here around 440. So guys, just be careful. Like people are saying we're in a bull market. I understand we can keep going higher, but next year could be a bear market, and you can see many of these gaps will be filled. Okay, I don't know when, but they will be filled. So just be careful. Those who think market will not go down, it will go down. All right, these gaps are there to tell you that they need to be filled and they will go down. And right now we are having divergence. You can see what happened here. Okay, you can see this low here, 27 October 2023. This was a divergent low. You can see RSI was making higher high. This low was on a higher high. Okay, higher high on RSI. Now exactly opposites is happening on here on S&P 500. It made a new high on Friday, new high, and you can see RSI making lower high. So momentum is going down, guys. Just be careful, okay? I just want to mention that here, and you can see all these gaps. So do not get FOMO into this rally. You think you lost it, you lost. I mean, don't chase this, okay? You can see this green. You want to sell when it's green. You want to buy when it's red, okay? Do you see these red items here, red lines here? So find stocks which are like oversold, not overbought like S&P 500. Triple Q's Nasdaq. If I go to 1 hour chart, see this gap here around 397. All right, that will be filled. That will definitely be filled, and it can even fill in January. So, and there's another gap here around 380. So you can do the same concept here. You can see all these gaps already marked. If you go to daily chart, you can see now this one is not showing diverge. Well, it is showing a little bit divergence. You can see triple Q's made a new high 28th of December. RSI made lower high, and even if you make a new high, now it's going to be a divergent high. All right, and you can see green on the top. That means it's overbought. You want to buy when it's red. Okay, what does that mean? You can see this low, like I showed you on SPY, S&P 500. This was a divergent low. Okay, so momentum was going higher, price was making lower low, and then you can see boom, we just broke out from there. All right, so be very careful on Nasdaq. A dump can come anytime, and I don't know what would be the catalyst for that, but whenever that happens, this is definitely looks like a filler. 3% down, 397, and then 385. 7% down is 378. All right, I think at minimum we are looking at 397. So be careful here. And then Dow Jones, let me see, where is Dow Jones? DIA. DIA gap is all the way down. Same thing on Dow Jones as well. New highs, divergent high, new lows, higher low. Okay. So be careful. A dump is coming and a gap is here around 354 and Russell 2000. Let's go to 1 hour chart. This gap down today, another gap here. So all these yellow lines are the gaps to fill to the upside, and the bigger gap here. You see this big gap, 169. Now, if they decide to dump it, that will be around 11% down. All right. So be careful on even on this. So there are a couple of gaps now. Now it is possible we can go higher. We can go higher definitely, 1.25, 4%, and then can go lower. That's also possible. But be careful, guys. Uh, Especially here, you can see now we're getting a uh, good dump. That's good, but this could be a bear flag, okay? Of a post, a flag, and we could be going down. Like if you wanna do like a measured move of this, you can do something like this, all right? And and then you can see a breakdown, and this could be another support. And if they want to bring it here, they might as well fill this gap, all right? So that's my point. So be careful on all the stocks and indices. So I'm gonna change from now going through commodities and everything else sector-wise. I'm gonna make it shorter. So let's quickly look at key stocks which I'm keeping an eye. Tesla. If you go to 1 hour chart, you can see Tesla is making lower highs, and then you can see today it made a lower high on 1212, and it was not a slight divergence. I would say slight divergence. So you can see this low here on Friday was a divergence. Today was equal low or slight divergence. Like if you draw an arrow, if you really want to see it on 1 hour chart, very hardly you can see it. Okay, you can see if I draw this line like this, very little divergence. Okay, and you can see Tesla has been red for like since when? This day here, 29th of December. So just being red, okay? This is what you want to buy when things are red. You don't want to buy when things are green, okay? Let's go to daily chart and see if we can find anything else here. Now, let me hide this indicator. Now, okay, so good news is Tesla is also, if you're a bull and if you're a long-term investor, okay, uh, Tesla is showing red here, all right? Red at the bottom. So usually when it's red, you can see what happened here. It went down. It was like really deep red, okay? That means we are getting very close to a bottom, all right? So you can see this red here, and then even we got this upper arrow. So that's like double confirmation on this indicator. So we're getting deep red, and then this green dot was a buy dot, all right? Same thing here, okay? So you can see this red started here and it started showing deep red and then bounce even here, okay? Red here, and now we're starting to show red even here, okay? You can see red. Uh, so red is the area which means get ready for a bottom. Now it doesn't really mean like here we got started getting red a while ago and then it keep dumping. We started getting red around let's say 160 and it went to as low as $100. So it's not definitely saying bottom is in, but this is what it's saying Tesla is preparing for the bottom, all right? Now, what would help me give me more confidence is if we get a divergent low. So you can see this low here, which happened on 103, Friday 6th of January, this low, and you can see RSI was making higher low, so that's a divergent low. But usually Tesla uh, does not always give you a divergent low. So this low here, this was not a divergent low and just bounce, all right? So Tesla sometimes might not even give you an opportunity for a divergent low like other stocks because it's so like volatile. But anyhow, today buyers jumped in. It was down 3% and then they just jumped in. And now there are all these gaps to the fill to the top side. So from where we are right now, we can definitely go around 12% higher to fill a couple of these gaps. So keep that in mind. Another stock I'm watching is Apple. So we went down. Apple is also showing same thing. You can see here, whenever it's red, good time to buy. And it showed red, started showing red on this day, January 5th. Again, today was also a down day, but at the end it recovered. But again, it's red, so this is also a good time to buy, in my opinion, Apple. And it also gives us a buy signal, this green dot. So that's also still a higher low with a gap up. Now, if it keeps going lower, I want to see a divergent low. So like here, all right, you can see here new low with high low on RSI. That's what I want to see on Apple. If we get a low, I think if we do get a low later this week, this is gonna be definitely a divergent low. Uh, so if you're a long-term investor, that this is definitely a good time to buy. UNH still not showing red, so I think UNH still has a little bit more lower to go. Dollar broke out of this box here. Like if I draw a rectangle here, right? This whole area, it was struggling in this area for like longest of the time, and I'm just fixing this indicator. You can see here broke out. This was like inverse head and shoulders, consolidated, broke out, and that's why things like gold are struggling. But gold is on a nice support area here. This whole area, if I draw a box, this looks like a nice support. So you want to be buying on support, right? Why you not buy on support, right? You want to be buying on support. So gold is sitting right on support, perfect time to buy. And I did buy some of the gold today. So GLD is what I bought. And silver is also nice support here. If you want to draw a box here, sitting right on this nice support here. All right. So gold and silver on support. Crude oil. Also, I think crude oil is also very nice support here, this area. And you can see crude oil is also showing red here. Actually, let's quick look at gold. Still not showing red. That's fine. Silver. Oh yeah, silver is also trying to bottom here. Okay. You can see every time it shows red, it's trying to bottom. Okay. It's getting closer to red. Gold is not there yet. Crude oil is also getting very close to bottom. Natural gas. This here was a nice bottom, but now still ways to go. Just look at Bitcoin, still not red. Okay. So you can see this whole red here. That was the time to buy. Now it was all green, green, green. No time to sell. Still, I think I want to see more lower price. I want to see dark red on Bitcoin. So I think more dump can come. Hang Seng Index China. Okay, so this is what you want to see, all right? This is where like China looks like keeps going lower, and then you start to see deep red here, all right? That means it's getting closer to a bottom. So China is looking nice. Um, let's quickly look at commodities to see if there's anything we can see. Corn, look, you can see corn is also making deep red here. Wheat, not red yet, there yet. Soybeans, today was up 0.2%, so did give you a buy signal today. Interesting, I missed that part. So soybean might be bottoming, and we did get an arrow. You can see every time we get an arrow, we are usually very, very close to the bottom. So I'm gonna keep soybean in my, I'm gonna make it red. So I remember sugar, you can see bottomed here, bouncing, and copper, still not red. So actually I'm gonna probably uh, buy soybean very soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow. So I'm gonna put this all the way to the top so I remember. And then the ETF, if you wanna buy soybean, SUYB, this is the ETF if you wanna buy with me, soybeans. So I'm going to put this also at the top so I remember. Here you go. All right. And even this ETF should be showing red. Yeah. This is where you want to buy when it's deep, deep, deep red. Okay, guys, I think that's all for today. Gold miners also, it's red. Okay, so getting closer to bottom. I think it broke this trend line if I draw a trend line like that. Yeah, so it's below this trend line. So you really want gold miners to go back on this trend line. If I draw with one point chart, so you want gold miners to go above. Right now it's below, and then there's another gap around 27 bucks, so that can also be filled. Okay, I will see if anybody have any questions. Let's see here. Uh, okay, I'm gonna actually make this a little bit here. Okay, Jeremy, hi. You saved my more than once. That's why I've been watching. Okay, thanks, Jeremy. Good to hear. Actually, I'm trying to do live together with TikTok and YouTube. So let's see. All right, so let's go here. TikTok. A lot of people are commenting here. Okay, Nicola, I showed you how to find gaps, so hopefully that's helpful. Uh, Prices of the gaps. Uh, Guess you busy. Baba. Okay, so I will go Baba. I will check Baba. for Fernando. Okay, Baba is also down 3.31%. Um, Now, Baba also had a gap down, interestingly. And we can go here. Oh, wow, there's a gap city here, but let's just focus on this gap for here. If I go and horizontal line here, all right, this gap here, this gap here, this gap here, all right, uh, and then this is massive gap here. So I think it's like a big gap city here. So Baba is also showing so it's making a new low, divergent low, RSI is making higher low. So also it's near 52 weeks low, okay? So you can see 50 weeks, 2 weeks low. To look at Baba, you should keep and look at Hang Seng Index, which is China index, which I showed you before. Like it's getting closer to a bottom, but since it keeps going down, the way to trade it is it's a bit tricky here. But what you can do is you can draw some kind of a trend line like this on Hang Seng Index. All right, and you have to wait for this to break out. All right, it still did not break out. You have to wait for it to break out. So you can do similar thing on Alibaba. Let me go back to Baba. Okay, so you can do same thing here. You can draw a trend line, like you can draw a trend line like this. Okay, and you can make it go like this. All right, and wait for this to break out. Wait for this to break out. I won't be buying Baba until this trend line breaks. So just be patient. Now there are indications that it's keep going lower. Earnings are coming, so maybe on earnings it's going to have a big gap up. So earnings are on this day, 31st of January. So just wait for the earnings, and then if it breaks out, it breaks out. Until then, just remember, do not buy until this trend line goes out. Like you want to see a breakout like this, but it still did not happen. Okay. Okay, guys, any other questions? Because before I hang up, let me know. Let me know if there are any other these indicators. Actually, I don't know what's your name, double eyes. I just trying, this is a new indicator, Lux Algo indicator oscillator matrix. I'm just trying to see how it goes. I just bought it yesterday, so I want to see how it goes. So we'll see. It's from Lux Algo. All right, guys. And let me quickly see if there is anybody having question here. Okay, James Webster. Cheers from Canada, CA, I guess, or California. I'm not sure, James. Where are you from? PayPal and Sophie. Let's quickly look at PayPal and Sophie. Then I'm gonna hang up. PayPal. PayPal. Okay, so PayPal is also showing a couple of gaps here. So if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see. So usually always try to analyze first of all some of the gaps, and then you can do higher term analysis. Like a longer term analysis, but always try to see because gaps do get filled usually upside or bottom side they do usually get filled. So let's try to anytime you're analyzing a stock, start go with 1 hour chart, try to see gaps, turn off extended hours and see what you can find. So you can see all these lines are the gaps to fill. So green lines are the gaps to fill to the bottom side. Red lines are the gaps, sorry, yellow lines are the gaps to the filter top side. Now PayPal, if I can do like a trend line, if I can draw a trend line, you can see nicely here. You can draw like a big resistance line here, right? On PayPal, if I extend this, here you go. All right. So wait for a break of this trend line on daily chart. Okay, you have to wait for this trend line. All it's doing is coming closer to this trend line resistance, acting as a big resistance here right now. So you have to wait for this trend line to break, and then they also today gap down. So now remember there are a couple of gaps to the downside as well. So wait for a break of this trend line, draw a trend line like this before you get bullish again. All right. Also, it's maybe it's making inverse head and shoulder. I don't know. Look and see left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So it could be getting ready for a breakout. So we'll see how it goes. Sophie, Siva, paid version. Yeah, I got a paid version of TradingView and Luxelgo. I'm just trying to see how it goes. Just testing it out. Siva. Sophie. Hey James, I'm also from Canada, so good to know if there's some Canadians here. So good to see. Actually, I'm keeping an eye on CNQ. So if you wanna, CNQ is the biggest Canadian natural stock. Sorry, oil miner. So I was like right about I was about to buy, and I did not at the end. So I'm just keeping an eye on CNQ. Maybe I'll buy before end of this month, but it's looking really good right now. So just giving you a heads up if you are interested in oil miners because oil is also near bottom. Anyhow, CNQ, oh sorry, Sophie. This is daily chart. I have to go to 1 hour chart. So 1 hour chart, Sophie. Uh, Good thing is I don't have a lot of gaps to the downside. Now there's a gap to the upside. So let's go to daily chart. Um, Now Sophie was showing divergences. You can see new lows with higher momentum on RSI. Um, and oops, what did I do? Okay, so Sophie has a gap here, so that will be filled sometime. I don't know when. So this gap is here around 23% up. Okay. Now there's also a gap in the bottom. Okay, so it's like in the middle of two gaps. Now this high here, if I zoom in, this high here exactly on this day, 27 December, this was a lower high on RSI. So it made a higher high, but RSI is making a lower high. Okay, so just be careful here. It's a divergent high. Now I want to see reversal. What that means is I want to see, you can see this low here, how this low was formed and RSI was making higher high. And I want to see dark red background here. So until I see that, I got to be very, very careful on Sophie, all right? Now this arrows here, they are telling you that this is very, very overbought. So this is a good time to take profits, all right? And then you want to see red, okay? When you want to buy, you want to be buying when it's showing red here. It's still not showing red. So I think it can still go lower. And if it can go lower to this previous low, it can even go as low. I think earnings are coming, so earnings is like a coin flip. So I think earnings will decide which way it's gonna go. But if it goes a bit lower around this area, okay, this area looks like a good support on Sophie, all right? So around, let's say around 6.5, $6 to $7, okay? This is a good area of support. But if it comes here for some reason around 5.5, buy it, okay? That's a good buy. And if it comes to here around 9.53, both these gaps will be filled. I just don't know when, all right? So it's right in the middle. Yeah, CNQ, James, here you go, CNQ. You can see there are two gaps here on CNQ. I'm looking for this gap to fill 62.68. I will have my buy orders here. So I'm just waiting for this gap to fill. If you go to 1 hour chart, you can see this gap here. I'll be placing my buy orders here. So you can see we are just 1.32% away. And the reason I want to buy CNQ is due to oil. You can see oil is now, it moves with oil and oil is making divergence. You can see oil is making lower lows and RSI is going higher high and oil is like really showing red here. So I think oil is getting closer to bottom. You can see this whole area around 71, 72. Crude oil is getting closer to bottom and it's going to bounce. And when that bounce, CNQ is also in this consolidation. It's like a flag for like this started since 30th of August 23. Just consolidating like in a flag. Whenever it breaks out, it's going to be an explosive breakout. And that's why I'm just keeping an eye on CNQ. If tomorrow it comes here, I will be buying it. Still not showing oversold here. I want to see red to get more confirmation, but it started showing light red. So we'll try to buy it as soon as I see that. Okay, I'm gonna switch to TikTok window, see if anybody have any questions here. Uh, okay, Nicola, sorry, I think you left, so it's fine. I'm not gonna check Vic USDT. So I think yeah. Any other questions, guys? Last few minutes, and then I'm gonna hang off. By the way, this Lux algo is pretty good. I just want to show you here. Maybe it's for Siva. Siva, I want to show you Lux algo. I don't know if you're here, but you can turn this different settings here. You can do like a swing trader mode, right? Let's say swing trader mode. And if you go to like, let's say NASDAQ, I don't know what you like, it gives you buy and sell signals. And I was trying to do gold today. Um, and I went to like, you can even do like 30 minutes chart. Uh, and actually I went to 1 minute to be honest. Um, and I'm just testing it out. Okay. So it gave us a sell signal here around 2041. So it's big dump and now it's giving a buy signal. So I'm just testing this out, how this is gonna work. I don't know if you want to try. So you can do like or you can even turn like a scalper mode, right? So it even gives you more signal. Like if you want to really like, if you're in front of screen, you just want to trade, it tells you when to buy, when to sell. It's pretty awesome. So I'm just trying to see how it goes. I just bought gold today, so I want to see how this thing works. I'm not here to promote this. I'm just trying to see. They give you 30 days free trial, so nothing to lose, right? If you wanna, so I'm just gonna see how it goes. Like if you turn, I'm still playing with. If you turn like a swing trader mode, let's say if you wanna do like a longer term swing trading, so you can see it gave a sell signal here, buy here. So let's try Bitcoin. Let's try Bitcoin. So this is a swing trader mode. Uh, And let's try scalper mode on 1 minute. Oh wow, that's a lot of signals. That's crazy, man. I don't know how anybody can trade with this. Let me try Heikin-Ashi. Oops, no. Heikin-Ashi lines. And then maybe we can try like a swing trading mode. Okay, so there you go, Bitcoin. Here you go. That's not bad. So it gave you a sell signal on Bitcoin here around 43 to 58. And then it told you to buy was still here, so near support area. So I don't know, I'm playing with it. It's just like 1 day. I don't know if I want to keep it, but just gonna play around with it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, just wanted to show you. Okay, anything else? Okay, that's it. All right, so I looks like nobody have questions. Okay, guys, thank you. I will see you tomorrow. And if you, those who are watching TikTok, you want to subscribe, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's a link on TikTok. You can go there on my profile. It's free. You can just subscribe. I post daily videos, pre-market and also end of day updates there. So you can watch it there. All right, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.